Alright, so no fancy intro or anything on this episode. This time we're looking at the curvature tool inside of Adobe Illustrator. Let's just get right into it. So here we are inside of Illustrator once again. I've went ahead and created a few shapes on the board that we're going to use the curvature tool to create. The curvature tool was a learning experience, but now that I understand it a little bit better, I'm starting to use it more and more. So I think it's got its place. It's got some good benefits. It can speed up some of your workflow depending on what you're making. So these are some pretty basic shapes. I mean, this one down here, not so basic, but I'm going to show you a few tips how to work with that one. So to start with, we're going to go ahead and access our curvature tool, which is right here. Now, the keyboard shortcut for this one is a little bit different. It's Shift, and I don't know the actual name of it, but it's like a reverse apostrophe. So it should be right above your tab key or right below your escape key on your keyboard in the right-hand corner. And you're going to get this funky little pen tool that's got that little curved line around it. Now, the basics of this are, if I single click, you'll see how this actually starts to curve around and it works the bend for me. Right? Those were all just single clicks, and now I've got a pretty decent circle. I mean, you can see that if we zoom in here, it's off a little bit, but here's the nice thing. I can actually grab the tool again, and I can take this point, I can drag that down. And it's went ahead and adjusted everything else for me. So this one's a little off center. I'm just going to drag that one over there. Now you don't want to do this with just your regular pen tool. If I come in here and grab the pen tool, or even if I grab my direct selection tool and I drag this around, it's not using that same curvature anymore, and it's actually going to end up causing issues. But I can always come back to my curvature tool and straighten everything back out again. So this one was pretty simple. Now here's the cool thing. Let me just show you something. Let's delete this. And I'm going to grab my curvature tool again, and I'm going to double click this time on all of these anchor points. So I'm going to double click that one, get my center, I'm going to double click that one. You see I'm creating this diamond? Well, if I double click again, now I get that curve. And I can double click on this one and I get that curve. Double click this one and I get that curve. So you're not stuck with the type of anchor point that you have. And I know that you can do things like this with the pen tool by using your option, or by coming in here and going to the anchor point tool and making your revisions with that. This just makes it so much easier. So when I said there's a bit of a learning curve, it's understanding kind of where you need to start with the shapes that you want to make. So for this one, I'm going to start right down here. Okay, and I want to actually double click this one so that I get a straight line. And I'm going to double click this one because I want a straight line there as well. Then when I come up here, I'm just going to single click. I'm going to come back down here, and this one I'm going to double click. I get that nice arc, right? And now you can see this rubber band on this. I've got a straight line that I'm going to use. So I'm going to come down to this one. Now, did I double click or single click? I double clicked. Oh, I double clicked. But it doesn't matter because I can double click it again and get it back to where I want it to be. Now the other part of this is that I can actually utilize kind of just forward thinking a little bit, I guess you could say. If we're working on this shape and I wanted to complete this one, rather than me having to figure out, okay, now do I need to do double click or single click, I can actually do the whole thing with double clicks and then come back and adjust things as I need. But you need to kind of think about where your anchor points would be in order to make the curves. So I'm going to start off up here and I'm going to double click. I'm going to have another anchor point here. I should be able to do this one with another one, double, another double here. And then to get this curve, I mean, I'm not going to have a single anchor point here. I'm probably going to get right about in here. I'd need one. And then another one down here. And I'd say another one right about up in here. So I'm going to work my way just around this shape real quick. mark our anchor points. What happened here is that I was too close to the line and ended up adding an extra anchor point. So I'm just going to back up, get rid of that one, and now I'm going to zoom in. So we can actually get right in here, and I'll be able to add a point that's off the line. Another one here, another one here. I'm just going to finish up real quick here. And close it off. So now it's got all these jagged points and everything to it. But the nice thing, like I said, now I can come back in here and I can actually double click on this and this and this. So I'm going to double click all of the anchor points that I know I want curves. And now that I've got all of those done, I can make my adjustments to these and kind of match things up and get lines to go where they should. Maybe I have to move this one over a bit and then this one up a bit. Right? And I mean, again, this doesn't have to be exact. I mean, we are working with a known shape, so we want it to be as close as we possibly can. But you can see that I can make these little adjustments, and even if I want to add another point to get it to do that curve a little nicer, I can do it. All right, then we can adjust this one. Pull this one down a bit. Maybe pull that one in a bit. So you have to play with it. You got to work with it a little bit before it really starts to make sense. But double clicks, single clicks, and then being able to adjust your curves kind of on the fly, it makes it a really good tool for getting some nice curves. So if you're one of those people that just can't get good curves with just the regular pen tool, you can't seem to figure it out, this one's going to help you out quite a bit, especially if you're working off of a drawing. A lot of my work is a sketch first, I then pull it into Illustrator. So with that, the curvature tool has been working out great for me. So I hope that makes sense. It's not a difficult tool, it's just a few little clicks. So it's that basic understanding, kind of the double click on the nodes. You can convert back and forth between either a square node or a rounded node. You can move things around. You can even do your basic shape with just all square nodes, and then go back and double click on your nodes to convert them over to round or square nodes. Download the practice sheet that you can find in the description. That'll help you out. Do a little bit of practicing with this. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually not that difficult. I actually prefer this a little bit more than I do the regular pen tool now that I understand how to use it. All right, so that's it for this one, designers. I hope you pick something up. Again, I'm putting these out there so that you'll learn something, you'll start using these tools a little bit more, and I hope that they're useful for you. Ready to get back to work. Now get out there and design something, and I'll see you in the next one. Just don't look like right here above my head, because that's still my old workshop. Made my wall just a little bit too short. You probably didn't even notice it until I just pointed it out.